We're live.
Welcome back to the Nobody Asked Show. Big slate, a lot of football. Not any football in the state of South Carolina. Actually, I wanted to start with a little bit of news. College football has been canceled for the rest of the season in the state of South Carolina. There was a picture of Clemson and South Carolina fans holding their flags together like the Bloods and the Crips, saying enough is enough. The season is over. The season is over. So Alabama just stay in Tuscaloosa. Don't worry about it. So football season's canceled in the state of South Carolina.
I got to see that meme. That's incredible.
Yeah.
On some other news out of the SEC in particular in college football, Ken Williamson, the official from the Georgia and Auburn game, has been permanently suspended. I saw that news on Google today right before hopping on this call. I have done zero research into it, so maybe it was a gag headline. I don't know, but I
the
did
no
see
timeout,
that.
the no timeout coach or referee.
Mm-hmm. After reviewing it, it's officially suspended. I don't know how true that
That's
is,
awesome.
but I did see the headline without clicking on it, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
Some
That's
action.
incredible.
Wow, that's rare.
Well, let's keep it with the SEC because, Ev, you've been pounding this drum for, I guess, the entire season, but big news in Gainesville as well.
Yeah. I'm just going to jump into my category. I want to get this out there. My biggest rise of the week is going to be the University of Florida. Welcome back to potentially having any sort of hope in the college football realm. I'm sure it won't be till next year, but Billy Napier out as the Florida head coach after an abysmal performance, something that I saw coming from the moment he was hired. I'm on record as saying that, however many years ago that was. Was I happy about the hiring? Absolutely ecstatic about it because Florida sucks. So that's good. Hopefully they fuck up again. That's all you can really hope for as a South Carolina fan. However, with how much we fuck up, I'm not really sure it matters at this point. But we can digress and get into that a little bit more here a little bit later on today.
Ev, would you say it's fair to say that Napier was stealing from the University of Florida over those last 3 years?
He wasn't just stealing money from them. He was stealing hope, ambition, and really just desire to live for some people. I think there's probably some statistics on the wellness of students there and the happiness of student populations there. I think they can contribute that to Billy Napier failing them as a university. So I'm not sure he should be the only person fired. I think whoever boosted for him and kept him around this long should also be maybe on the hot seat. But, for now, I think this is a good start for whatever they need to do to change things down in Gainesville.
Well, and I bet
Was there a buyout?
Yeah, I think it's like $20 million.
Yep.
Doable. Very, very doable compared to the others we mentioned last week.
But kind of speaking of theft, and I guarantee nobody out there listening thought I'd be able to draw this connection. How about the Louvre? Did y'all see the news about the French Museum this week?
Impressive.
Netflix is salivating. Netflix is salivating.
Absolutely.
I'm an
9
Oceans
a.m.
fan.
Yeah, big time.
I'm an Oceans fan through and through. One of the best heist movies of all time. Probably the best series of all time. If you're not rooting for these guys to get away with it, you're not a real. You're not. I don't like you as a human being. Yeah. You gotta root for the criminals here. I'm team criminal. Yeah. Team criminal 1,000%.
I would have been team criminal, but they broke the crown. They broke it.
Yeah, they dropped the crown.
They're gonna break it anyways. They're breaking it anyways.
Yeah,
like they're melting it down. It doesn't really matter.
They're gonna recut all those diamonds.
It's also the French. If it was anyone other than the French, I might care a little bit, but it's the French. I'm out on the French.
I also got to throw this out there. Might regret this further down the line. Maybe if our podcast was a little bit bigger, I probably wouldn't say this. But little sister was in Paris for an art show around the same time. She's a very smart individual. She did go to Stanford. She's got the resources. She's got the mind for it. I might have to text her, just say, hey, was this you, Tabitha? If it was, you can tell me. But she's number one on my suspect list.
If she needs 3 people for the next crew, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but I'm not saying I would do it either.
Yeah, but I'll hit her up on Telegram.
A person with the brain like Tabby, she's not doing the heist. She's the mastermind. She's doing the drops.
Exactly.
She's telling people where to go.
That's why I'm saying her fingerprints would not be on this, but she could put it together.
This is Usual Suspects-esque, just less murder, less killing.
This is Lester from Grand Theft Auto putting it together.
But yeah, we do. Like I said, we do have a packed show tonight. There's a lot of news. Champions League was back this week. NBA's back this week. Hockey's been back. But I think we should probably just jump into the slate of football, right? Unless we have any other heists to discuss, we could get big heist hours on here.
No, I mean I got a theft to discuss, but
maybe we'll save that. All right. Well, Ev, you already started us off with your biggest riser. Did you have anything to add on the Florida football program?
No, I don't. But if no one else gets to him, I do have another riser I would like to share. But I'll leave it open to you guys. If Charlie wants to go ahead and get his riser, because I think his riser may be this individual.
Well, before I relinquish a few of I got a few risers honestly these days. But who do you think is gonna replace Napier?
I mean, I think the first call has to be Lane. I don't think that's any surprise. I don't know where Lane is. I could see Lane doing either one, but I think ideally you want to call around the SEC first. Like Drink has got a great resume for it. If you think about Missouri before he got there, and then you also have Clark Lee, who's obviously got Vanderbilt, I think, in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. So like I think you got to call around the Southeast. But then, what about Golish, the South Florida head coach? He was 2 years ago. He was the Tennessee offensive coordinator, so he knows the SEC a little bit. He's done a relatively good job this year at South Florida. I know the last 2 years was average. Young guy. I mean, it's another swing at a young up and coming G5 coach that maybe it's too early for Florida.
See, that's my thing. I think it's got to be an SEC coach at least, a bigger name. I just think it has to be a bigger name. I don't think the boosters are going to fly for anybody.
Yeah, I would agree, but I think Golish
name.
could be a good hire, but it's the same swing you took with Napier in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I just don't think they take that swing again. I also listen. I don't think either of these will happen. I think you have to make the calls though, and that's Nick Saban as well as Urban Meyer. I think both those are going to be called.
I was just going to say, do you think they've already called? I bet you they've already called Urban. I bet you they've already called Urban.
Yeah. I don't see Saban doing it. Wouldn't make any sense to me, but I think you have to at least make those phone calls.
Yeah, I just don't know why Saban would have retired from Bama just to get back in the same thing he got out of, whereas Urban kind of forced out.
I saw his wife's comments.
Yeah, I did see that. That was good stuff.
Saban makes less sense to me than I'd see Urban way more before I see Saban. I just don't think Saban wants to coach in this era.
I think he's having way too much fun doing the media stuff as well.
Loves it. He's got a great gig.
Honestly, both of them are doing the media gig.
Yeah, that's true. What's the bigger job, Penn State or Florida?
Florida.
Historically, Florida. It depends. You could find that mid-Atlantic kind of grown Pittsburgh-y. I guess Pittsburgh and Penn State probably are somehow rivals, but there's a certain kind of coach who thinks Penn State's a better job, but Florida probably historically is a better job, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's a pretty good segue to my riser. We've said it before, but my riser this week is going to be Indiana. Locking up Signetti, I feel like is huge.
True.
I think it was like $93 million contract or something like that. I think $11 million per year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and moving up to number 2, a lot like we said on this podcast, or I've said on this podcast, a lot of question marks coming out of last year.
Yeah.
After that playoff loss, and a lot of coaches, on the carousel right now that we've talked about. So I feel like locking him up, the performance that they've had just throughout this year, I can't really see them missing the playoffs at this point. But yeah, just feel like it's a real statement from Indiana that they're kind of here to stay.
Yeah.
And putting together, a program that can last. So got to go with Indiana this week. And I got a few more if you guys will get to them.
Yeah. I've got 2 here. My first one, Penn State football. This is the first spread they've covered this season. So, Penn State football finally against the spread winners. But my actual one is Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton is the last couple games at least. 289, 4 touchdowns, another 59 rushing yards, and another touchdown. In one of the more entertaining games, I'm sure we'll get to it here in a little bit, but he's I hesitate to use this phrase because he's not this guy, but he's got a little bit of Baker Mayfield to him, the way he kind of plays football, especially late in games, the last couple games especially. So yeah, Gunnar Stockton, incredible week for this guy right here.
4 touchdowns.
5, 1 on the ground.
Oh, yeah, he is man. When he gets going, he's got that ability.
The best thing South Carolina football did this weekend, because he was at one time a commit.
Yep. I agree. I think Gunnar Stockton's really kind of been on the rise throughout this year, especially the last couple of weeks, really put in the numbers performances. But I do get what you're saying with the Baker Mayfield comment.
Yeah.
He's just kind of a gamer. When it matters the most, like, he's getting it done. And even the way he kind of puts his head down and runs, like, his running style is very similar to the way Baker runs with the ball.
Yeah.
It looks odd, it kind of looks awkward, but he gets the job done, and he falls forward a little bit. I'd almost say it's a little bit like Baker plus like a Sam Ellinger back at Texas a few years ago, willing to put his head down, like gets a little bit of the fullback vibe occasionally.
Yeah. Well, this is the same.
I don't hate the comparison.
This is the same guy who got his brain scrambled last year in one of those late games. It was either like SEC, was it an SEC championship game or was it a bowl? I can't remember, playoff game. He went in at the goal line and just got absolutely scrambled.
Yeah. No, I do remember that. I think his helmet popped off.
Yeah, dude, it exploded. His brain exploded.
I like a good brain explosion every now and then.
Eb, did you have any other biggest risers before we let Charlie unload the clip?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and give mine. It's tough to say it's a really biggest riser here, but I have to give the shout. Jeremiah Love, and just an absolute dominant performance over Southern Cal. I want to say he ran for 227, around that, above 220. His next highest rushing game had been like 160 something, I think.
228
going into that game. 228, and he just had an unbelievable performance. He was hands down the best player in the field. Again, I don't think Southern Cal is a very good defense to begin with, but he just showed it. Notre Dame starting to look really, really good, and man, Jeremiah Love is just starting to really, really play good ball, and I think that's a good sign for Notre Dame. I mean, he was kind of slowish in their 2 losses this year, but he's playing really, really good football. Maybe that he was a little injured coming into this year. We don't know. You don't know those kinds of things. He battled him off the end of last year. So that's exciting to see. I wonder what his Heisman odds are jumping up to right now. I don't know, but glad I got in earlier.
Yeah. I'll look, because that's what I was just going to say. Charlie's kind of put us on earlier this year on the live Heisman odds for Love. But
plus 1,800
when you run for 228, you kind of wish that he gets a couple more tuds in there, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I think he's been short on yards, though, for the season a little bit compared to where people thought he would be. He's been a little touchdown heavy, so maybe it'll even out.
Him and Price Price still eats a lot of carries.
I think
No, that's it for me. I just had those couple there. But Charlie, let's go ahead and unleash it, man.
Yeah, well, speaking of gamers, speaking of guys who kind of remind you of Baker Mayfield a little bit, this week I gotta give flowers to Diego Pavia. Played a great game, probably the most important game of the season yet for Vanderbilt. I feel like, playing LSU at home, and man, I saw some highlights of just a few clips of him in that game. I didn't watch the full thing, but when he gets going, he is just hard to tackle. I think he had like almost 100 yards on the ground, threw for 170 or something like that. But he got 3 touchdowns, and just to kind of command that team against LSU. I think they move up to number 10 now, right? When they were 17 going into the game. Just a huge win and a great performance by him. So he's a riser for me this week.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, do they have game day this weekend? Vandy, Missouri.
Ooh,
I'll look.
Missouri jumped up, I think. What's that, 15 versus 10?
Yeah, it should be.
Perhaps. And then if we've got no more, I got one last riser, and that's UCLA. Started the season pretty horrifically. 0-4.
As bad as you can. As bad as you possibly can start a season.
Yeah, and man, have they turned it around. I mean, I know Maryland isn't, the biggest the biggest competitor these days, but it's still a good win for them. Moving up to 3-4, got a chance of saving the season a little bit there, but
Yeah.
got to be
They
a
have
riser in my books after starting 0-4. Just turning things around.
They have Indiana this week, I think.
I like it.
In which little sneak peek to the preview show, I'm going to be hammering Indiana. The run stops now. UCLA, I'm sorry, but you're going into Bloomington.
Yeah, that'll be a time to regress.
Yeah. By the way,
Could UCLA just be the showstopper this year?
Yeah,
that would be
giant killer.
Hilarious.
Maybe they're my Louisville this week. Maybe they're my Louisville.
Maybe. Game day is in Nashville
Listen, it's the number 2 team in the country. You don't want to be the number 2 team in the country.
You don't want to be the number 2. You do not want that number 2.
Uh-oh. Have I talked myself into it? I have. UCLA, moneyline.
Wow. Wait, I got to check that. Oh.
You do not want to be the number 2 team in the nation this year.
Plus 1,600.
Let's go.
I don't know,
That's
man.
fucking rock and roll, baby.
I mean, I have to ride. I can't not ride it if y'all both hit it. I'll be like such a dork.
I honestly thought it'd be more.
Plus, they're 24.5-point dogs.
Yeah.
Well,
on that note, should we move on
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I
got a few from this week.
I'll kick this one off just because we were talking about this game a second ago. First off, this is like part 2 of my biggest takeaway. So just jumping into that a little bit. I love the Friday night big game solo slot. I love that there've been good games, like good teams, good matchups, standalone spots. I love the Friday night football, but in that game, Miami versus Louisville, I think it was maybe in the late first half, Miami's punt returner fields a punt and just breaks off into an open lane, and they call it back for a fair catch. And there was absolutely no even remotely close indication of a fair catch, and it very well could have robbed Miami a punt return touchdown. That would have been a huge swing. I was a Louisville bettor, so I was happy about it, don't get me wrong, but watching that back, if I'm a Miami fan, like that is a pivotal spot that you can get back in the game, and the ref took it, and it really is not even that close. Like I can't even make the case for what the ref was seeing, but it was just an abhorrent miss that changed the whole outcome of the game, I thought. But again, Louisville better, thanks to Evan, so I'm good with it.
Been a few of those this year. I feel
y'all know
like
the play I was talking about?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't tell you what happened. And just to dive into this game a little bit more, listen, you can say all you want about that, but what are you doing moment? Carson fucking Beck throwing 4 interceptions. I get the last one wasn't really his fault, but still.
You got to air it out.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, come on, dude. Just when I talk you back in, I bet against you. So, maybe not. But at the end of the day, dude, you're having a great year, and then you go and do that. Unbelievable bad performance. What are you doing?
What's funny is that was going to be my "what are you doing" moment. Was that pick? Yeah. I thought Boom was going to say it, but did you see him double down post game as well?
Yeah, and
because that could easily be a "what are you doing" moment. Completely threw him under the bus. Said he ran the wrong route.
Fuck Carson Beck, dude.
You stay strong, dude. We're right all along. I never bought back in on that stock. I just don't like Carson Beck, anything about him. But
yeah, that's a good one, Evan.
So it's going to be a team I talked about in the pregame show, and it's just going to be Duke. Listen, I was wrong about Duke. Duke's a better team than Georgia Tech. I was absolutely wrong about Georgia Tech. I will give props there. Now, were they in Georgia Tech's tier? No, they weren't, because that tier neither team belonged in that tier. But Duke just, one of those games I watched, Boone, I'm sure you can dive into this more. Watching that game, I watched a good amount of the first half, then watched the Gamecocks game. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot or just doing something where they're absolutely outplaying them and then just losing the game. It made zero sense how they were down, and it was one of those games where no matter how far or how good they started playing, I just don't think they're going to be able to come back. They just don't look like they have it today. It was just tough to watch in that sense.
Yeah, that was a brutal game. Georgia Tech is so fraudulent. Duke Duke invents ways to lose. They've done that all season. The Illinois game looks much worse than it was. And by contrast, Georgia Tech invents ways to win. They shouldn't have won against Wake Forest. They've had the horseshoe up the ass all season, and Duke has had whatever the opposite of that would be. It's really tough to play a ranked team in college football and ship 17 points in the first half. They have the ball, start the first drive on like the 3-yard line, drive at 97 yards, and then fumble for a scoop and score, and then just dropping the hold in the field goal in the first half, get away with no points again. The Duke defense was awesome. Throughout the game, the Duke defense was awesome until the very end when Haynes King had just been leaning on the whole game. The Duke offense was awesome. It's what you said of. It's just shooting yourself in the foot. It was a tough outcome, tough game. But for Duke and the Duke fans, everything's still in front of them. Technically, that's their only ACC loss to this point. So if you win out, you still could get in the ACC championship game, and then anything can happen there. They go to Clemson this week, who looks like a wounded animal. I do have one bit of beef with the Duke fans. The student section was completely empty for a ranked game, and it's not a big stadium. And you have a good team they were favored in this game against a top 10 team, and you just didn't show up. And the few that did show up were gone midway through the third quarter when there was still very much a game at hand. Just embarrassing if you're a Duke student. Absolutely. Just show up. Just show up.
Where's the Cameron Crazies?
I got to be honest with you. I'm not surprised by that at all. It's a month away from basketball season, less than a month away. They're already looking ahead to basketball. Like, I feel like that's just how the students act there. Like, it's all they care about basketball. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all.
It blew my mind. But one thing I will say, and we'll close out the Duke talk, but something I noticed and applaud the Duke stadium staff for: no tip at all. There's no tip option. You buy a beer, you go away. There's no. Will you donate this to our foundation? All these tips go to whatever. They never like, hey, please donate 30% that I open this beer so it goes to my daughter's cheerleading squad or something. Nothing. It's just the cost. Then you go away. So good job, Duke.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
That's tip of the cap.
With how crazy tipping culture's gotten.
I'd rather you just charge me an extra $1. You know what I mean? Just charge me an extra $1 and don't ask for tips.
These days, you gotta click other. You gotta put the custom. Yeah. You got 5 people behind you. It's gotten out of hand. So I get behind that.
Sorry for the tangent, but yeah.
Charlie, how about you? What's your what are you doing moment of the week?
Well, I've got a backup in store. So I know we usually do college football for this segment, but I'm gonna throw in one that's just too good from the NFL this past week, and that's the Steelers' offensive lineman who weighs 300 pounds, who decided it was a good idea to tackle his 41-year-old quarterback after a dramatic play. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but
I did not.
I'll send it to you. Aaron Rodgers throws a dart. It's a close ass game. He goes down the field. He does his like Mario celebration thing, whatever it is, and this very large gentleman tackles him from behind and basically lands on him. It looked arguably worse than a sack that would have gotten flagged. And look on Rodgers' face when he got up was absolutely priceless. He's just like, what the hell are you doing? Probably could have broke his collarbone. The fact, just like, maybe do that to like prime Cam Newton and you get away with it. But the fact that he did this to the oldest quarterback in the league who's hanging on by a thread was just a classic "what are you doing" moment.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I'm gonna have to go watch. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this here.
That's incredible.
I wish I could pull it up.
I do have another "what are you doing" moment, but I'm gonna save that. It's gonna fit into another segment, just as well. So I don't need to dive into that.
All right. Well, why don't you dive into your best game?
We touched on this game a little bit earlier. What a fourth quarter from the Georgia Bulldogs. Ole Miss, Georgia. What a game. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Just from start to finish, it was exciting, action-packed. I will say, Georgia did really assert themselves as the better team in that fourth quarter. it was a good game up until most of the fourth quarter there. And then Georgia is a team that is really starting to play good ball too. They've been in some tough games, which I think is going to benefit them as we come down the stretch here. But overall, a really, really fun game to watch and high scoring, exciting. Really, really awesome game. A lot of takeaways from it. I did have one game I like a little bit more. However, Boone, I have a feeling that you're going to pick this one based off of how you've talked about one of these teams all year. So I feel like doing the right thing and not stealing it from you.
No, I mean, I don't know which game you're talking about only because I had Louisville, Miami, and I had Ole Miss and Georgia as my two. So which game were you talking about? I mean, Arkansas A&M is that what you're talking about? Because that was
Arkansas
just
A&M.
That game was exciting. It's just when it came to implications like Miami getting knocked off in a great game, and then a top 10 ranked matchup that was a great game. That's the only reason. But dude, you could line up Arkansas against anybody, and they'll score 35 points or more, lose the game, and it'll be so fun to watch. Dude, I swear, you could line Arkansas up against the Detroit Lions right now. They'd lose 35-82, but they'd score 35 points at least, and it would just be entertaining. This team is incredible to watch. They're so bad, but they're like their offense can do so many things, and their defense is just like doesn't even think about defending.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it.
Dude, yeah.
The offense will figure that one out.
Yeah, Taylor Green's got us.
Yeah, it's like they want to play more ball. They want to get back on the field quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great games. So. Yeah.
On that Georgia game, I was shocked that they covered because for the majority of that game, I'm like,
unreal.
Wow, that spread was so wrong, and to finish that by covering by half a point, I'm sure there were some very happy bettors after that one.
Dude, it's just like. It's a fourth quarter. That's it. It's like when the Warriors were dominant and the game would look pretty similar except for the third quarter when they blow a team out. It's like this Georgia team just clamps down and that's what's going to keep them going, I guess. For the rest of the season, they don't have an easy run out, I don't think, but it'll be interesting. What were y'all's thoughts on the Holy War? I thought this was also a good game even though it wasn't. I mean, this game is just so fun. They hate each other so much. It's just awesome.
I do have a question about the Holy War, and I might need some clarification. But I heard there was some controversy over Utah kicking during the BYU prayer.
Yeah,
I think. I thought we were all on the same side.
No. So here, listen. BYU is full blown Mormons.
Okay.
Utah just has a lot of Mormons.
Okay.
So
same side, just not as like dedicated.
Listen, BYU's where you go if you're like, oh man, I'm a real Mormon. I'm a soaker. Utah's where like I'm religious, but I'm in college and I still want to get laid. Like that's kind of the difference. And like
I do appreciate the clarification.
I don't know if that's true at all, but that's my interpretation.
Is that fair confusion though? Because I saw that I was a little confused there. Okay.
Utah is just a Utah school, and anyone from Utah I think is just generally pretty religious. That's a pretty safe assumption. Whereas BYU is a legit Mormon school. You can get kicked out for a lot of stuff. Utah, I don't think you can get kicked out for as much.
I'm clear. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah. I've never been.
Please carry on.
Yeah. I'm assuming there's no beer in the stands at either school. That would be a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah, there's definitely not. A lot of hard sodas, but by hard I mean like half caffeine.
They also cannot do coffee, so that's something else to keep on note for the Mormons.
Yeah. Which is I think why Utah doesn't play good in these morning games. They need night games. This game not being at night was kind of a bummer. You do like seeing the black sky, just because it feels like it's so dark in Utah. But the only other game that I had really of note here was, and we'll get into this in Gambling Corner, I'm sure, but Texas Tech, Arizona State, Sam Leavitt. That spread dropped so dramatically when the news that Sam Leavitt, I think when the lines first came out to start the week, it was Texas Tech by 10, and I think it finished at Texas Tech by 6. Arizona State came out and said that we're not dead yet. They still have some season to play for.
This was my game of the week.
Yeah.
Boone. I'm just going to say it. you banned the tortillas, and then you lost. I mean, you
You have
can't
no one to
do
blame but
that.
yourself. No
Yeah,
one to blame but yourself.
I don't know what you were expecting. You got guys
I
smoking
didn't know
weed
about the
post
tortilla
game
ban.
on the field. I'm pretty sure the tortilla ban went into effect for this game, and it's something like they see a tortilla on the field on the playing area, and then there's a stadium announcement that comes on. They see another tortilla and it's a flag. So not sure if there were any flags flown, but I think that's gotten in the players' heads. They just didn't come out,
Yeah, they
and
weren't
Sam Levitt just
correct.
had his way. Had his way.
Sam Levitt did look awesome, though. I mean,
Yeah, he's
the Big 12 is a crazy league right now. I mean, Texas Tech lost its leeway after that game. They have tougher games down the stretch that didn't look as tough maybe 3 weeks ago.
yeah. I will say every time I watch Arizona State, I just miss Scatabo. I just
Yeah,
miss watching Scatabo on that
yeah,
team.
dude. Do you think Sam Levitt is looking at Jackson Dart with Scatabo being just like, I miss you, I
It's like
miss you.
the Squidward meme, just looking
Yeah,
outside with
yeah,
everyone
right,
having fun.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. All right. Any other good
Biggest
games you want to talk
takeaway food.
about? Yes,
No, let's move on here.
this is something I kind of hit. It took me a while to think about this one. Other than I love Saturday or the Friday night standalone game, I think just the way the season's going, how teams have. There's just it feels like outside of maybe Ohio State and Indiana, there's just been a lot more parity across the league. I think that we're going to reach an inflection point at some time this season where the conversation is going to be: do we allow another Group of 5 team at large or a 3-loss Power 4 team? I think that's going to be a real controversy down the stretch, just the way some of these games are going, where you're going to have like a Tennessee and let's say USF gets the guaranteed spot, but then like North Texas, who USF beat, but maybe that's their only loss, and it's a conversation between a 1-loss North Texas team who only lost to USF versus a 3-loss Tennessee team. That's going to be an actual argument that's going to be happening. We're going to have to decide: is 3 losses more important than is 3 losses in a major conference more important than only 1 loss in a G5 conference? I think that's going to happen this season, and it's going to spur on
It's gonna get dicey.
It's going to spur on the 16-team playoff, which I'm not a fan of, for the record. I think 12 is a good number. I think 8 was the perfect number, but we skipped over that.
Yeah, I agree. 12. I think it should just be the best 8 teams in the country. No automatic bids anywhere. But yeah, I mean, I think you have to have that conversation, and it's gonna be tough. But like, it's gonna have to be a resume thing from the Group of 5 team. You can't just have a Group of 5 team with this 1 loss and they haven't beaten anybody. Like, they have to have beaten somebody.
I know, but the Group of 5 looks better this year, both against the Power 4 teams and just
we'll see. We're gonna have the
yeah.
conversation. I agree, but I think it's just gonna come down to what's the resume look like at the end of the day.
Right.
But
No, I agree. Who's next?
I'll go.
Yeah, let's hear it, Evan.
Alabama is officially my front runner for the national championship. That's my biggest takeaway of the year.
Yeah.
I love Ty Simpson. I love Kalen DeBoer. That was an asserting win. This is a team that's just progressively getting better. And unlike Ohio State, Ohio State's probably going to have these games down the road, so I'm not going to say anything quite yet where but Alabama's been tested, tried and true. They kind of got an ugly loss out of the way early, which in hindsight is looking like the best thing to ever happen to them. Now, is that all going to come to an end this weekend? I don't know. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But right now, after this far into the season, Alabama is my national championship pick.
Yeah.
And they're starting to look scary good.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they have timely plays too. They've gone down a murderer's row this last couple of weeks. And they've won all the games. Obviously, the Florida State loss looks bad, but I mean, they're playing. The receiver core is coming around. They don't have their top running back healthy, and they still looked great. A guy I've meant to mention a couple different times on this show, and I just keep forgetting, is Alabama Justin Jefferson, the outside linebacker edge guy. Every game I watch, he's just around the football all the time. I think he's like 25, maybe. I could be botching that. But he's an absolute monster, and I have not watched a single Alabama game all season without hearing his name a bunch of times. But you're totally right. They look incredible.
Simpson's that guy.
Yeah.
Not Caleb.
Simpson's
Ty
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell of a ball player, that Caleb Simpson. What about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I think I just need to start going first in these segments because I had something about how basically, when you think you got some of these teams figured out, I guess that's college football, but everything just gets blown up. And then I had the same thing, Evan. Alabama just, yeah, I mean, I keep saying it, every game feels like a statement game for them, but I think they're just really freaking good. And I think it's also kind of funny just how fast we overreact. Like that FSU loss feels like eons ago, and it's still just like a weird week one fluke, it feels like. But I feel like a lot of the narrative was around Kalen DeBoer, just kind of like, he might not be the guy. And now he's really looking like he's got this team firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson for the same thing, right? He did not look good that first week, and
he looked
a lot
bad.
of question marks.
He didn't look great the second week either, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it just I think, Evan, you nailed it. Like, they're just getting progressively better, and I feel like it's, they must just be having some really good practices because it looks like a team that's just not slowing down. And my third overall takeaway is that Miami might have been fake. I might have hyped them up a little bit too much. I feel like they're that team that they're going to be a problem. We know they're going to be a problem, but after that Louisville loss, I feel like teams are going to really like poke holes and watch that film and see how you can get to Carson Beck, because that was just a convincing win by them.
Maybe the ACC just sucks.
I mean, I don't think Georgia Tech's number 7.
No. Maybe the ACC is just
maybe
not
5
good at
teams that I think are better than them.
Maybe the ACC is not good. Just want to throw that one out there.
Yeah, and then last but not least, I'm just going to keep saying it every week. The path is clear for Notre Dame now. The path is clear. Barring anything crazy, that one felt like the one that was testy. They've now got Boston College, Navy, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Stanford to close out the season. We know Syracuse can be a little bit scary, but they're now number 12. They're in the playoffs, and I just feel like this team is my dark horse this year after being sent to the Wolves after week 2.
Yeah, I think the trickiest game left on that schedule is probably Pitt, just the way they've been playing recently. But, I mean, you're right. See, honestly, we need to remind ourselves when the markets for Heisman futures come out next year and bet CJ Carr, because he's gonna have a say in that race. I mean, he's unreal. A gamer, dude. I mean, gamer might not be the word. He's just good at the game of football.
I think gamer is a good word for him.
I mean, he's just good at the game of football. He's just matured so much, and he already looked good against Miami. A couple silly freshman mistakes, but yeah, he looks incredible.
He is what I thought Drew Aller was going to be this year.
I mean, God, Drew Aller.
Kind of rapid fire through those, but those are a few months.
Let's jump into my least favorite segment of the show.
Do we?
Like I said,
I guess we got to.
Like I said, the Gamecocks, much like a European soccer fan, staged a protest in the face of this football season. I don't know, guys.
I'm all out of it. I really don't have anything to say. Until Mike Shula is fired from this team, there's nowhere to go but down. Hey, one positive. My tickets were supposed to be $250 to the game this weekend. They are now $110. So, listen, you gotta take the positives.
Yeah.
I'll name another positive. We didn't break the parlay because I didn't put him in there.
Yep. So, that's all. I don't really have anything else to say. I don't really want to talk about it.
I broke the parlay, but we'll get to that. Listen, the fact that we lost 26-7 when Mateer threw for 150, I mean, we couldn't stop them running. They just ran all over us. Stewart was out, which sucked. And I will be a Dylan Stewart fan and a Lenora Sellers fan when they don't play at South Carolina next year. I will understand it. I hope we still keep Duckworth, who, hopefully he won't flip his commitment. But the only takeaway I have is the freshman receivers looked good. I don't think Sellers would actually transfer. I think he would go to the league or he would stay. That's more because his brother is on the team. But Dylan Stewart is definitely gone. This team's a bummer. I've got really nothing else to say about them. Except they're going to cover this weekend against Alabama. But we'll get to that tomorrow.
Listen, Mike Shula, I just think, hey, shout out to the University of South Carolina students. Unlike the Duke students, they were there for a good amount of the game. Respect to them. They tried staging a protest on campus to get Mike Shula fired. I think we might need to storm the Capitol there. Just something. That the fact he still has a job. Listen, I woke up on Sunday morning. I was ecstatic to hear Billy Napier got fired, and every time my phone buzzed on Sunday, between that 3 seconds of me going to my pocket to dig it out and looking at the screen, I was just praying for a Mike Shula out as offensive coordinator. He continues to just amaze me with his poor play calling. I made jokes about this. I know, listen, I can Saturday morning or Sunday morning coach all I want. I would have had more offensive yards than he would have. I just know that for a fact, and I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not saying a lot more. I'm not saying I would have won the game, but I would have had more yards offensively than he did. It's that bad. So, I don't know.
What sticks out to me, obviously the play calling is bad, but the red zone play calling in that game was horrendous. I've said it 1,000 times, but Sellers, you're just not using his athleticism at this point. It's it's just, I don't know if it's ignorance or just I don't know what it is, but the fact that you're just running it up the gut, expecting something different, no rolling out, no boot, nothing like that, no play action. It's just not coming together, and you nailed it. This team is just a bummer, and it's classic Gamecocks. Just when you think, we're gonna have a run, now we're looking at we'll be lucky if we get a bowl game.
Yeah, you said it there, Chuck. This is the epitome of classic Gamecock football. So much so that I don't ever want to be preseason ranked. It's only gone bad.
Well, that was a curse. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's crazy that this team was a top 10.
On the positive side, women's basketball season is around the corner, and the Gamecocks opened at plus 280, the second shortest odds. So that's good.
All right. Well, let's talk positives.
Let's go from a least impressive performance to most impressive performance. Guys, we've joked about this, and again, we'll get to it in the gambling corner. If we would have done a nobody asked parlay of our team money lines the last 3 weeks, it would have hit the last 3 weeks. And so now we can't do it because it's definitely not going to hit next week. But it's just, we really missed the boat. We've been losing these parlays when we just had to look within ourselves.
Well, hey, this week not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some are saying the Nobody Asked podcast was one of the biggest risers this week, actually, in the gambling corner.
Yeah, we had a good week, but yeah, I have a ton. Not a ton. I've got a good number of most impressive performances, so I'll go last. Chuck, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to what was one of the craziest NFL games I think we've seen this season. So I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to go Cowboys. Massive performance from them. Beat up on the Commanders. This team is the Arkansas of the NFL. They refuse to score less than 40 points. I think they might have a top 5 offense, guaranteed. When CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens might be as good as CeeDee Lamb at this point. I know that's insane to say, but the guy is just he's showing elite moves after elite moves. Dak is officially back. He looks incredible. Some could say that the Commanders are not, what they were last year, which I think is valid, but they're still a good team in my eyes. And this was kind of the game where I don't know who the Cowboys have next. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but that Packers game is starting to look less and less like a fluke. Crazy to think what this team could be this year if they hadn't made the move for Parsons. I
Yeah.
say what you will about that trade, but it's kind of crazy to think if they just had a half decent defense, could this be a contender? So Cowboys got to be up there for me. I just think everything's going well for them right now.
Yeah, their offense is insane to watch. Real quick, their offense is insane to watch. Dak Prescott had 264 yards. Almost 200 of that came just to Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Javonte Williams has looked really good at somebody that I had written off pretty much. But yeah, it would be interesting to see what a team that can score like this and get up on their opponent, what having a great pass rush could look like. It just makes you wonder.
Ferguson too.
Especially the way the Eagles have looked, the Commanders obviously in the division, and the Giants are kind of. We'll get to that game, I'm sure, but this could have been a year for a real run if you have Micah Parsons still.
So hey, looking at Ferguson, it looks like to break the Cavender curse, all you had to do was get engaged to one. Having a career year. As somebody who was at this game, man, what a performance from the Cowboys. Just walked all over the Redskins. One comment on AT&T Stadium. I've been to a couple games there before. This is the first time I've been up in the nosebleeds. Listen, the TV is so big, it is almost impossible to watch the field.
Really? Like
I had bad seats, but the Jumbotron, it's so in front of your face when you're up in the higher sections that looking down, it's just like I'm just gonna watch the screen.
You might as well just watch it at home.
Yeah. Listen, I paid $20 to get in, so I'm not gonna hate on that.
Yeah.
But listen, the Cowboys are really, really starting to play good ball. If the defense can get a little more improved, we'll see what they can do. Kind of to your point, Parsons was there. How good could they be? But that division is wide open. Is wide open. I'm going to get into the Redskins here a little bit later on, one of my other categories, but that division is wide open. The Eagles kind of have shown some weakness. The Giants, they're good. It's going to be a really competitive division.
The Giants feel like they could beat anybody and then lose to anybody.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
So, So yeah, I mean, that's also what I has my most impressive performance. I did have one other one, and I'm not going to get too far into it. I'll let Boone talk to it. But I'm just going to throw it out there as a shout. The Colts. What an impressive performance. A game where I had the chart. I want to take the Chargers money line. I am going to credit being a good friend for saving me a good amount of money. I had 4 units on the Chargers. I decided to abstain on one of my best gambling weekends in history. So credit to me there. Congrats to the Colts. What a performance. The Colts are the real fucking deal. But Boone, how about you? What are some most impressive performances?
Before you go, Evan, I do have to ask. Aside from the Jumbotron, and this may just be like just a flawed stadium. Isn't there a massive side that just gets blasted by the sun for like half the game when it's in after? I heard there's like a giant curtain they're looking into or something.
So I've never sat on that side.
Like the Wizard of Oz curtain.
Yeah.
The stadium is also so massive. Like climbing up to get to your seats, it's just almost too big. Like if you're not in the lower sections, it's an absolute nightmare trying to navigate around that stadium. It's almost just too big and too nice. There's so much shit going on too. Like you could spend the whole football game exploring the stadium.
It's like a mall.
And not watch the game and not miss a thing. But it's a cool experience. I'd recommend everyone go at least once. I think it's probably more fun for a concert as opposed to a football game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben.
No, you're good. I have a couple.
Had to ask.
I won't dive into them too much, just because for the sake of time. The first one, not football related, but wanted to talk about it because we haven't recorded, I don't think, since this happened. But Shohei Ohtani, six innings pitched, shutout ball, 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Like maybe the most impressive performance in sports in one single game.
I don't think you could say maybe. I think it is.
I don't know.
Baseball. The most impressive baseball performance of all time.
Definitely in baseball.
It is hands down the most impressive baseball performance of all time in a game clinching game too.
Yeah.
Congrats to the Blue Jays too. I think you're fucked. There's just this Dodgers team. I said earlier in the year, I'm not worried about them being in a slump. They're too good. They're way too good.
I wonder what it's like hearing an Ohtani home run. Because when I watch those highlights, it just sounds different. Does it not sound? I can't. It's like they're putting on a sound effect.
He launched it out of the stadium.
Yeah.
I've seen him play live. Just the way the ball hits his bat sounds different.
Yeah,
I can't
I must
explain
have,
it.
right?
Yeah, like it just sounds different. It just like sometimes when players make good hits. I mean, baseball nerds will talk about this all the time. Like, that perfect sound. It just sounds like that every time he hits the baseball. He's something else. He really is. Listen, Judge is a phenomenal kind of once-in-a-lifetime player. Shohei Ohtani's literally on another fucking planet.
Yeah.
Like, how good he is
it used to piss me off.
Top to bottom.
It used to piss me off when he was on the Angels and they were like, Mike Trout's the best player of all time. I'm like, he's not the best player on his team. What are we talking about here? Shohei Ohtani, 6 innings of shutout ball, 10 Ks, and 3 dingers. That was talking seam.
I gotta say, while we're on the baseball topic, I hate to not see the big dumper. In
that's a bummer.
The final game there, because that would have been a fun showdown.
Yeah, the only team in the Major League Baseball to never make a World Series, the Mariners. That's tough out there. I'll just run through these other ones real quick. Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, incredible. Guy was unstoppable. The Chiefs and the Rams both in their games. We'll get to the Rams game because I gotta eat some crow there. But the Chiefs looked unstoppable. The Raiders are in trouble. And then Jahmyr Gibbs last night. Jahmyr Gibbs is on a different planet. He is incredible. He hit 22 miles an hour, I think I saw on the broadcast. He's so fast.
Electric.
He's so
How
good.
would Jared Goff's comment on it?
I didn't see that. What did he say?
He's like, oh, so what was I, right behind him?
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
I think you also got to say that the amount of greed that the Lions have, they talk about in the Bible. Because having Montgomery and Gibbs as your backfield is ridiculous. Because watching Gibbs, it's just like, why would you ever run Montgomery sometimes? And then I see Montgomery and I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, Gibbs just looks so dynamic. And then like after your defense is tired from chasing this hyper bunny around, you just get punched in the face by this muscle ball.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the Chiefs, Boone, because I know the Raiders are a nightmare, but the Chiefs look officially back. Rashee Rice is definitely the missing piece. You see why they didn't really lose too many odds for the Super Bowl. They were also kneeling with 2 minutes 30 to go, which I haven't seen in a little while. And someone pointed out to me that they could have started kneeling with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter and still won the game. So absolute massacre from the Chiefs.
Well, I mean, theoretically, they could have started kneeling the ball after their first touchdown because the Raiders didn't really do anything. But dude, I stole this from Pardon My Take. I'll give full credit, but I did place this bet, and it's a Dodgers to win the World Series, Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and Ohio State to win the Natty future.
I can't do that.
I know. Listen, it was talked about. It was talked about and made too much sense, and I knew that if I didn't take it, I'd be pissed.
Can't do it. I have too much pride.
That's fine. I have none. I've got none. It gets beaten out of me every Saturday. So. Who wants to start with their team? Because we all had some pretty nice wins this week.
I had a good day.
Let's hear it, Evan.
Let's start with you because I heavily wagered on this game.
Listen, was I a little bit nervous at this game? I was the second they scored 10 points, and it was 10-3. And then I realized I think the Patriots are fully back because the second Drake May threw one ball the next drive, I was not worried at all. I was just confident they were going to come back and win this game. So I think that says a lot about this team. It also could say a little bit about who they were playing in the Tennessee Titans. But Drake May is currently playing the best football in the NFL. He was 21 of 23 throwing the football. Just absolutely absurd, making beautiful deep throws down the field. Just really, really smart with the football, running the ball when he needed to. Really, really playing football at a high level. The defense, listen, I don't love the slow start. I don't. The slow start kind of concerns me. You can get away with it in a game against Tennessee. You're not going to keep getting away with that. However, they locked it down the second half. Absolutely locked it down the second half. And that shows me it's there and it's capable of being there. It just needs to be a little bit more consistent. But the team that started so sloppily, so many penalties, and just doing so many things wrong, to see how far they've come already is really good to see. And then another player I just want to call out is Will Campbell. 1 sack. He's had it once after his first game.
I was going to say this, Evan. I was going to say this.
He has
what
a lot
beast.
of sacks since. What a draft pick. I don't think the short arm is too big of an issue. And then one other player who I am rooting for so hard. I was nervous this offseason when he was doing whatever he was doing in the Caribbean with that lovely lady and that pink substance. Stephon Diggs. Listen, kind of known to start becoming a diva across the NFL as a wide receiver. He's the first person there to go congratulate his teammates when they get a touchdown this year. Yeah. Clearly, you tell he's bought into this team, supporting the younger receivers, being a mentor, making the play. He's putting his body in line, running the routes to the middle, just doing everything. And it came out that last week, not this week, before last week's game, he has a private chef. He paid for the offensive lineman to come over his house and have the cook for him with his private chef. Drake May did it this week. Picked up hibachi, and his wife made a beautiful oatmeal apple crisp for the offensive lineman, which, according to Jared Wilson, our starting left guard and rookie, is now favored among the offensive linemen. So hopefully that continues this week. I'm not sure who will be hosting, but I love that. And overall, I'm just rooting for Stephon Diggs right now. He deserves a touchdown, and I hope you're going to see that team just rally around him. But overall, this team is just bought in from Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was the right guy for this job, and that's been cemented. Congrats to him for getting a win against a team that unrightfully got rid of him. But yeah, that's my take on the Patriots.
I think that's a great recap. This was the game that kind of got me on the Patriots wagon. I felt like this was a trap. I saw a ton of people on Titans +7 who are historically pretty sharp. Thought that was going to unfold in the first half, and then like you put it, Evan, Drake May just took over. I think the most impressive thing about Diggs to me is not even all the things that you just mentioned. Just kind of like the full 180 he's really done in terms of just like presentation and being a good teammate. It's the fact that he tore his ACL almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And he's 31 years old. Yeah. And to come back and look like he does now, which is like arguably more sharp, more quick, it just blows my mind. I mean, this isn't a guy who was Malik Neighbors' age. This is a guy who's approaching like washed receiver age. And to tear your ACL, I think it's almost like to the day last year. And to be playing like he is now, that's the most impressive thing I think I've seen from him.
Yeah, he's been incredible. The only thing he's done wrong this season is not score that touchdown a couple weeks ago when he went the fuck off. He's been incredible, though. What a signing. What a signing he's looked like. And there's been some talk about other teams selling off parts. And you know who would... I'd hate it as a Colts fan, but you know who would look mighty good in a Patriots jersey at the trade deadline? One Chris Olave... No, fuck you. Chris Olave. Chris Olave... could really if he can stay unscrambled, the Patriots could capitalize on the Saints, who look like they probably will be selling at the deadline.
So here's I'm really happy with our receiving core. I'm not saying I wouldn't take it, but I don't want to give up anything more than like a fourth or fifth for him. If I can get him for that, I'd take him. Other than that, I don't want him, really, to be totally honest with you.
I think it probably costs a fourth, probably.
I'd be okay with that, probably. I'd have to see. As good as this team is, and maybe I think they could get to the Super Bowl, or at least the AFC Championship game at this point, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself quite yet. I'd more so be happy with giving up maybe a third for like a defender that we're going to have for 2 or 3 years and kind of start bolstering that defense. I don't know. I just don't, like, my thing at the trade deadline right now with the Patriots is do not give too much up unless it's a long-term solution. So if you're going to give up a second-round pick, I want him here for the next 3 to 4 years minimum.
Olave is still young, and the reason they'd be trading him is because they're not in a space where they should sign him. So, like, he's just had the concussion issues, which is,
Exactly, which kind of concerns me about Olave.
Yeah.
I also saw a few Jalen Waddle rumors.
Yeah, I did
going
see
around.
that as well.
I mean, given the Dolphins are pretty much dead this season.
I don't think they trade in division there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last thing the Dolphins want to do is empower this next step of the Patriots dynasties.
Yeah, listen, they've already been fucked for the last 20 years. I don't know if you want to add another 20 to that.
And the Patriots got Wes Welker from them roundabout.
That's fair. I'm just kind of mind blown. Like with you gotta love football. I mean, what you really think
Yeah.
like this team is down and out, and last year it's who's better, Caleb Williams or Daniels, and you saw flashes of Drake May. You knew what he could do, but sheesh, I mean,
Yeah.
he looks so much better than those two guys right now. So much better.
It's night and day. I mean, yeah. I don't appreciate him sticking his head in and getting concussed by the smallest guy on the defense. That made
I
me
almost
nervous.
vomited.
Yeah, that made me nervous.
I took a walk. I took a walk.
Did
I
he
took
do a
walk.
Jackson Dart?
Not
He was
really.
in there for less set time.
Yeah, he came down weird. And a giant like rock creature didn't come and rip him out of the blue tent in this game. He just left on his own accord.
Hey, shout out Josh Dobbs, 1-for-1 on the day.
Yeah, that was big. The Pastronaut made his
It was
great
actually
return.
a pretty big conversion.
Yeah, it was a good play.
So,
and it was in kind of an important spot.
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, all right, well, let's get Drake May back on the field now.
Yeah, now. Chuck, what about you? Let's dive into the Thurs, who are now got their first road win of the season.
First road win of the season. Let me ask you something. What were you doing November 2021 during COVID? Because that was the last time this team was above 500. Okay,
Jesus.
so it's been a hard couple of years. I know it's the Jets, but hey, all right, it's starting to feel a little bit like 2015, baby. Okay. It's starting to feel a little bit like 2015. So not only is the window officially open, okay? Bryce Young, he's our guy. All right, we're back. Nothing can go wrong in these next few weeks because we're finally over 500. No, in all seriousness though, it's good stuff. J.C. Horn.
Dude, that
so glad that he's just got like a healthy, so good. Interceptions. Put an S on that, please, because he is a game wrecker. I thought I saw the best interception already this season from him versus the Jags, and I think it was like week 1. Another one-handed grab. Put this guy at receiver. I mean, it's just insane that the defense he plays. The second one, he closed the game out.
His dad was.
Yeah, his dad was.
Yeah. No, you see where he gets it from. The only down thing is Bryce Young. He got an ankle injury, so I think he's going to be out next week. Finally, or sorry, Ted was going up against what's his name, Gardner, cornerback for the Jets.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner. Really tough matchup. I think his probably his hardest matchup yet, but he continues to perform. This was a weird game though. Like I feel like the Panthers could have scored 30 points and they just kept getting stopped by the Jets.
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
How about another South Carolina legend?
Yeah, I was gonna
stepping
say.
up when Ted was having a rough game. Career highs, 9 receptions for 92 yards, and the only touchdown of the game, Xavier Legette.
That's where I thought you were going with it at first. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's good to see him. Yeah, get going.
And South Carolina's alums dominated this football game.
Yeah.
Hey, we love them. We donated $5 million to Teppers. That's like what I think probably about $5 for us. So
yeah,
good to see he's going really deep into the wallet there. But we've definitely got the Gamecock pipeline going. I think the last thing I'm going to say on the Panthers is it's a good problem to have when you don't really know which running back to go with. But having said that, I think Rico's got to be the guy. Equal on carries, and Rico's he's doing more. He feels like the more complete running back right now. And Chuba, I know he had a great season last year, but I literally would not be opposed to trading him and getting some more draft capital, or maybe just putting something more towards this defense, because I feel like we have a really good player in Rico Dowdle.
The problem is you just paid Chuba, but you're right. You can't, coming off injury first game back, to have the same amount of carries. One, can't do that. But two, Rico Dowdle averaged double the yards per carry. It's you have one guy who's clearly more effective. That's on the coaching. Like you've got to just commit. You don't need to run these guys even because Chuba was the guy that you paid. You just got to do the right thing for the team.
Can we just change? Can we just make his contract Rico's? Can we like change the names on it? Yeah.
I think Chuba would have something to say about that. Yeah, clerical error. So Chuck, y'all are over 500. The next couple weeks don't look the kindest, but then you do have a bit of an easier stretch maybe. But the Panthers, for where y'all finished, the Panthers' schedule down the stretch is a lot harder than I feel like it should be. I mean, next game.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit.
You're home against the Bills, where the Panthers don't lose, so Bills are on upset alert. But then at the Packers, Saints should be
Bryce
easy.
Young though.
Yeah. At Falcons, at Niners, Bucks. You finished the 2 of your last 3 games are against the Bucks. That's brutal scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, when I said window, I mean we're talking years here, okay?
No.
I think it's not the worst if we get some draft, a good draft pick for next year. We obviously have gaping holes in the defense. We have a lot of things that we need to clean up.
Yeah.
But another thing, Andy Dalton, it's time to retire.
Yeah. Who would the backup be if not
Bryce
Red
Young?
Rocket?
I think they're looking at Mike White, or signing him. But
that's a name.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly don't. But I could see us finishing, like 8 and 9 or something like that this year. So we'll see how she goes. But I'm just happy, like I said, to be plus 500 after 7 games.
Listen, y'all are fun to watch.
Over 500. My gambling brain is
Yeah. I hear it. This game particularly wasn't fun to watch, but y'all are a fun to watch team. I'm excited. I think y'all are live. I mean, you're undefeated at home. I think you're live against the Bills. The Bills who've not looked very good. Just run Rico more. And, I mean, I don't think anyone on the Bills is shutting down Tet the same way Gardner does either. So.
Yeah, I think that's got to be what we'll talk about on Thursday, but that one's just got to be an over for me. Bills defense has been not impressive. And one last thing, sorry, but what's shocking is if you look at the Panthers defense, which I shat on at the beginning of the season, they're top 15 in like a lot of really meaningful categories for a team that gave up the most points in NFL history last year. It's quite a turnaround. So I got to give kudos there for what's really not a very impressive roster on the defensive side. They're playing good.
Well, hey Boone, while you jump into your Colts, I'm gonna go get something out of the fridge for dinner real quick, but I will leave it to you.
Yeah. I'll save or I'll finish with what I was gonna say for when Evan's back. But the Colts, I mean, what is there to say right now? It's been another impressive week. A lot of people were saying before this game that this is the first good quarterback the Colts have played, none of the quarterbacks they've beaten have been good. Depending on where you say with Bo Nix, I think the Broncos kind of gave that game away. But they came in and thoroughly dominated the Chargers in LA. They did let the Chargers score, I think it was 28 or 24 points. But a lot of that was towards the
24.
end. The game's kind of over, still win by 2 touchdowns. The big things for me, another great win led by the defense. The defense has looked good, even down players. They got Kenny Moore back, who looked great, had 8 tackles in the game. Back to his old ways, really helping solidify that secondary because Travarius Ward's been out. Jalen Johns hasn't played all season. And then even Big Grove, our 340-pound defensive tackle, batting a ball out of the air with a big taped-up paw just to catch it, and then the entire sideline runs the entire team runs off the sideline to celebrate in the end zone. Just stuff like that, big plays and big moments. The defense has just continued to capitalize, but then the offense is just so efficient in every single way. Just looking at a couple of the numbers, Daniel Jones, another great performance. 8 different players caught passes this season, or this game, and of those 8, 4 caught 3 or more balls. I think it was the most was 7. So just really spreading the ball around. Our tight end Tyler Warren was averaging 17 yards per catch as a tight end. I mean, just the way Steichen is scheming up this offense has just been incredible. Welcome back, Evan. He
Thank
schemes
you.
open players so well to the point where there's a new leading receiver every week. Josh Downs, who I think is one of our better receivers as a whole, was out again this week. But Alec Pierce stepped up in a big way. I think he had like 90 yards. Tyler Warren had 70. Pittman had a couple big catches. Anthony Gold, our fifth string guy, had some catches. And then this is Jonathan Taylor's third 3-touchdown game of the season already through 7 games.
He's going off.
He's just an absolute monster. This team, I'm believing in this team. Looking at the schedule ahead, like against the Titans at home, you should win that game. At the Steelers, we've talked a lot about the Steelers. Definitely can win that game. Against the Falcons at home, who, depends on which Falcons show up. Then you do go to the Chiefs, which will be a tough game. You still have 2 games against the Jaguars. You go to the Seahawks. So there's tough games on the schedule, but they've set themselves up in a really good spot. I don't know if... Are y'all familiar with the movie Despicable Me? Have you seen the movie Despicable Me? I don't know if y'all saw this, but did y'all see the Chargers Colts Twitter back and forth?
I did not know.
So it's you could make the case that what the Chargers were wearing, those ugly ass yellow uniforms, were Minion-esque. So the Chargers account tweeted.
They were hideous.
The Chargers account tweeted before the game, "On our way to steal the moon," and the Colts just slapped back after the game. Just an incredible use of the Twitter app.
They did look like minions.
Yeah. So not only do the Colts just just clown the Chargers up and down the field for pretty much the entire game, they also beat them on the internet as well. A game that the Chargers don't typically lose. So shout out to the social media team in Indy for just an exceptional clapback. I got a lot of hope. I'm excited. This feels like the Manning years in a lot of ways, but a lot of the numbers say it's better.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyler Warren. He's obviously, I think he's three games in a row now with a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the clip of the Colts coaching staff from the draft laughing at the Dolphins?
You mean the Bears?
No, I think it was the pick before. They thought that the Dolphins were going to go with Tyler Warren, and they went with Kenneth Grant. And they were laughing at him. But I think a great point though, picking Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
that was one. I feel like I got propaganda from.
Yeah.
Because all I was hearing was Colston Loveland's this super smart player. He's a national champion. He's a blocker. You can do this. You can do. Tyler Warren's one-dimensional. Every time I watched Tyler Warren, he couldn't get tackled.
Yeah.
It was like he would just get the ball and run, and that's why Penn State was so good. So I feel like I fully bought into the propaganda on that one. Not to say that Loveland doesn't have time to come right, but man, feel like they messed up there.
So much better. I'm glad I was on that train the whole way.
This season, Tyler Warren has lined up at quarterback, fullback, running back, tight end, split end, and slot. And it's week 7. And he's scored a touchdown from 3 of those positions. Like, this guy he's unbelievable.
Another thing, go ahead, Evan.
No. I was just going to say I think we should get things moving along here. But,
yeah.
But unless you try to jump on in.
What's our next category here? Super Bowl favorites and worst teams?
Yeah.
So no one else moving there.
No, I'm on the Lions. Lions. I
know the Jets aren't moving.
I will be back to the Lions from my Bucks pick.
Same.
Come back. I welcome you back.
I'm Lions Jets.
So I'm actually updating my worst. I'm updating my worst team, and I know it goes against the records, but I watch football with my eyes, and it's the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a bummer. Their team stinks. Tyreek Hill was tweeting from home, and then clearly mid-tweet lost interest in the game. They got blanked by Dylan Gabriel. Not blanked, but they got smacked by Dylan Gabriel. I think the Browns defense had, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 6 turnovers. The Dolphins could not be... There might be 4 open jobs in the state of Florida in the coaching world at the end of the seasons.
How Mike McDaniel still has a job is insane.
Did you see him give the cold shoulder to the Texas quarterback, Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
He has his first
Yeah.
he has his first 3 snaps ever. You'd expect like a hey, good job, man. Like I know you're in for
Yeah.
2 right now because he sucks too. But no, nothing. Just like your shit.
You
I
got to
don't know
move
how he
on
hasn't
from
gotten let
Tua. The
go.
Tua experiment's over. His
It's
brain's so
time.
far
Yeah.
gone.
It's time to give Ewers some run because like at this point, what else? Why not? You have nothing else to lose.
Nah,
You're
Tua's
not
done.
winning anything.
Yeah.
Tua's done. At
Um.
least he got paid though.
So the last category we kind of changed it up. It's been worst take we've had thus far. We talked a little bit last show about changing it up instead of just recanting our bad takes. So we can either do a bad take you wanna air out or a trend that you're noticing. I've got a couple trends I'm noticing because my bad takes have remained the same week to week. So I can get it
I
started
have a
unless
trend.
you.
Go ahead, Boone. If you got
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
I'll let you take it over if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, so this is one that just to kick this one off, we've been on this for all season, but it deserved to be in the first trends category this week for me. Arkansas overs, don't even look at the number, just bet it. The number looks scary sometimes, just bet it. Arkansas is good they're good for 70 without trying. But the new trend I'm watching, we talked about this last show. I've done it the last 2 weeks. Whoever's playing Ohio State, they're under in the team total. So Illinois is when I really started looking at this trend. It was 17.5. They scored 16. This week I missed it at kickoff because I was at the Duke game, not really paying attention to the books, and I got it live. Wisconsin minus 2.5. Wisconsin 2.5 was their team total. 2.5, and I bet the under again. Bet the under hits.
Field goal.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start taking that regardless of the number going forward. I think so. That's my new trend. I will be noticing this coming week.
So mine's a little bit not of a gambling take, but and I do feel bad about this a little bit. But it's the RG3 Andrew Luck comparison that is starting to look awfully similar to the Jaden
Really?
Daniels Drake May comparison.
Oh yes.
Jaden Daniels with an unbelievable rookie campaign, something no one else could have ever imagined. Same with RG3, and then the injuries start. Jaden Daniels already out for this week. Can't seem to stay healthy, and even when he is healthy, he's playing okay. But nowhere near he was last year, which I understand. Hard to live up to that expectation. Drake May starting to play unbelievably well. I'm just noticing a lot of similarities between those 2 years in comparison.
Yeah.
So that's just a trend to keep your eye on. Not rooting for Jaden Daniels to continue to get injured. I don't wish this trend continues, but definitely a very similar trajectory.
Yeah, and if you look at it, Drake May, from the time him and Caleb were like looking at their draft class, it was them 1-2 until that last season, and Jaden jumped. Maybe we got to focus more on body of work than highlight seasons, but. RG3 had the same thing. Not on anyone's radar. Crazy last season. Just small guy, very fast. We talked about this in the preseason show with our sophomore slump. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Chuck,
that takes aging pretty well for myself.
Yeah, same. What do you got, Chuck?
Yeah. I'll go with a trend, and it's one that just it sounds obvious, right, when I talk about it, but it's definitely going to revolve around sports betting this year, and that's just betting on teams with their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
And I feel like we spend so much time, at least I do, looking at stats and looking at, does this spread make sense? Does this spread make, is this team going to have home field advantage? Is this quarterback going to be able to produce all this stuff? But I feel like there is a very real factor of just a team that really needs to win more. And you saw how the Chiefs played the Lions, a few weeks ago, where it was kind of, you lose this game,
Yeah.
suddenly playoffs are looking a little bit scary. You saw the Panthers, honestly, just from my own recollection, against the Cowboys a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We lose that game. I think we go to like 1-4 the season. It's just same old shit, and that was the momentum we really needed to be at least here. And this week, I felt like we saw it with the Bengals against the Steelers.
Yeah.
A team that just kind of back against the wall. Everyone's thinking, oh, the Steelers, they got to go in. The Bengals, we'll see about Flacco. We kind of said it last week on our preview show, but I feel like there is a very real factor this year in the NFL of just teams that are back against the wall, really need the win, and for me, that's what I'm gonna try to implement a little bit more into my strategy moving forward here.
So you're saying Gamecock
like
money
it.
line.
Ravens, whoever they're playing.
Shout out preview show. The Gamecocks money line might be in play.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. Done with the Gamecocks.
Let's close it out because we're starting
Might
to
be
run
in
a
the
little
nobody
long.
asked parlay.
Let's roll this out. Let's get to the gambling corner because we are a little long. I do apologize, Ben. You did ask us to talk Champions League. We're not going to get to it today. It's just we all got stuff going on.
Too much football.
Yeah. Another trend I might be noticing though before we jump in, we might need to start the show with NFL review as opposed to college because we're just in such a better mood to talk through the NFL than football than college football. So that might be another trend I'm watching. But Evan, we'll go through the last week's picks and the score update. But give us your worst bet. Let's continue to start with bad things and end with good things.
Yeah. I thought there was no way this team could lose. That they really. And then I forgot we had Mike Shula as a head coordinator. I had quite a few units on the Gamecocks. It was a 3-unit bet, money line. I didn't even take a spread. Didn't what mattered, but it was just a pitiful worst bet. In one of my sharpest betting weeks of my career, that bet was not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and that sucked. We beat that to nauseum. So let's move on for me.
Yeah, I'll kick it next because I had a solid week as well. But I broke the cardinal sin, and that is chasing something. I had just hit a 5-unit max Alabama parlay, or not parlay, straight bet. It was awesome. And I was a little tuned up, and I was like, I just need a little action right now. I got to find something. We're feeling it, hanging out with my dad. And I take a look at the Utah game, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm riding Utah. And I placed a stupid wager, no unit discipline, no feel for the game, hadn't watched anything, wasn't planning to look at this game, and just decided to throw down on it, and it pretty much broke even my day. So that sucked. So yeah, my worst bet was just me not following the rules of gambling and chasing when I didn't need to. Gamble responsibly.
Classic.
What about you, Chuck?
Best bet had to be the Rams.
Worst bet.
Oh, my apologies. Worst bet was Broncos -8. I realized we didn't even really talk about this game. I know we're running a little late here, but -8 just never had a chance. It was a miracle they won this game outright. But going into the fourth quarter, I thought this one's just absolutely done, and it was. So worst bet.
Yeah, it's one of those bets because I took the -8 with you. It's one of those bets that if you don't get the cover, you just want them to lose outright, and they still found a way to win, which sucked, especially for the survivor as well. That would have been nice. Mm-hmm. I think we only lost 300 people this week, which is tough, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Charlie, take us to your best bet since you already kind of mentioned it.
Yeah, it's got to be Rams. I think this was a very interesting one because if you might, there was some talk about Sean McVay and his travel schedule.
Yeah,
he changed it up for them. I think basically wanted to spend the least amount of time in England as possible, which is understandable. But coming from the West Coast, it's like a 10-hour trip. So
they
think they got in Saturday, right? Or
they stayed in Baltimore. I think.
Oh,
they stayed on the East Coast the whole week.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
I was about to say. But, the Rams, if it was not for the Lions, would be my best team in the NFL. I know that I had them going very far in the preview show, but didn't even have Puka and still just made it look easy and did it on home soil of the Jags. So easy win for them. And Stafford is playing he's just not slowing down. Guy's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Yeah, but he couldn't,
Charlie,
couldn't get those touchdowns for us in last week's parlay.
Charlie, in the previous show, I was all over this bet with you. The Jaguars are frauds. I'm going to say it here now. I've been saying it. The Jaguars are frauds. Trevor Lawrence is the biggest fraud of all, and I'm starting to worry about Brian Thomas Jr. Was he a one-year superstar? Was he a one-year superstar? Actually, I've been worried about him the last couple weeks. But I'm putting it out to the world, announcing I think he's having an awful sophomore slump, and he may never recover. Congratulations to Travis Hunter on his first career touchdown, though.
So that's funny you say that. Let's just go ahead and get into it because my best bet of the week was Travis Hunter anytime touchdown. Thank you, Skip Bayless. I hate you. I think you're the worst. But all this talk about baptism before the game just screamed bet his anytime touchdown. I had a couple good touchdown bets this week. Rashee Rice and CeeDee Lamb both returning, so I just took the swing. But yeah, Travis Hunter was baptized, and Jesus giveth to those he loveth. So yeah, anytime touchdown, Travis Hunter. And they'll only score the game for the Jags too, so really got away with one.
Yeah, I'll just jump into mine, and it was I gave it out as my best bet of the preview show, and that was Oregon minus 17, just absolutely eviscerated Rutgers.
Yeah, that was sharp.
Won that by like 30 points, right?
There was never a doubt in that game. Never a doubt. What a bounce back game for Oregon. In that game, the way Oregon answered that bell really makes me think more about how good Indiana is, because it makes me think Oregon's still a really good team to bounce back like that, especially after we saw what Penn State did. So I think that makes Indiana really scary to me.
Yeah, I mean, is this another trend we can watch? Maybe like I guess it didn't really work out for Penn State. It worked out for Oregon. What does Miami do next week?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll stick with you. What was your sweatiest win?
Yeah, so this almost became my best bet. Louisville. I took them money line.
That was
live
awesome.
on show last week.
That was awesome.
Live on show last week. Just put your money where your mouth is kind of bet. And sometimes that pays off. It kicked off a momentum weekend for me. Yeah, just what a fucking catch to steal the deal. What a catch. Just tried giving the game away. But Carson Beck bailed me the fuck out. So thank you, Carson Beck. You can go fuck yourself, but thank you.
Yeah, that was an awesome game. That was an awesome game. I did not have the balls to take the money line with you, so I was sitting pretty with the plus 14. I don't think I can say the same for our pal Charlie. But I had two for sweat. I had two for sweatiest wins. One we talked about the Georgia cover. That was awesome. I still don't really understand how they covered, but that was sick. My overall sweatiest win though was the Packers to keep our survivor pool run alive, because that got a little hairy at the very end there.
I would have been quoting a text message live on show.
Yeah.
I will say, listen, the Packers did win. I did text in our group chat off screen, I believe it was Saturday night, and I asked for a switch. A switch.
Listen,
we still won, so it's okay.
If you switch and it goes wrong, you feel like such a dickhead. Also, it's not like both teams, you wanted to switch to the Panthers. Both teams won by one score. Like, let's not act like the Panthers blew out the Jets. Come on.
I think if we would have picked the Panthers, they would have lost.
No, probably. Then I would have looked like an asshole.
Yeah, but no, I mean the Panthers do look like they barely beat the Jets. But if you did watch that game, it was never really in question. Whereas the Packers, I mean, let's talk about that for really quick. That 4th and 2, you have a chance to tie it. You call a timeout, so you effectively have to, like, if you don't get it, the game is over. You go for it on 4th and 2 to win the game instead of play for overtime. Just huge nuts from LaFleur. Awesome way to end it. If they didn't get it, I would have been motherfucking him all episode, though.
I would have called for his head.
Yeah. So, but love that he pulled that out. Chuck, what says you sweatiest win?
Yeah. And before I reveal, I did see a bettor who lived Broncos and Packers when they were both down with plus money. And I truly cannot imagine the sweat dripping down his face when both of those teams pulled it out.
That was crazy.
So kudos to him. Hope it wasn't fake, but kudos.
Yeah.
So sweatiest bet for me was probably had to be Notre Dame minus 9.5. Really thought that they were not going to cover, but got a touchdown in the fourth quarter to pull that one over the line by half a point. I did have two, and that second one was the Bengals plus 6.5. This was kind of got down to a shootout at the end. But after the Steelers put up, like, I think it was like 10-14 nothing or something like that, I felt very dumb. And I thought that was for sure going to be a blowout. And so, they managed to pull that one back, but the whole game I was like, Steelers could pull away here. So yeah, that was my
Yeah,
sweaties.
it's funny you mentioned the Bengals game. That could have been my best bet had the Travis Hunter thing not happened, because up until I was locked in on Jags money line as my favorite dog up until Evan mentioned Bengals could beat the Steelers, and I wish I had made the change, but I took that one money line. That was an incredible win. I love Joe Flacco again. Chuck, round us out. What was your worst loss?
Well, I got to go back to the Broncos. I mean, it just never had a chance.
Yeah,
Never had a chance.
Especially what I'm assuming the wager was.
Yeah, it was a big pick for the week. We even bought it down to 7, if I'm being honest, and even that just yeah, it felt pathetic.
That's insult to injury right there.
Yeah, it felt pathetic.
Ev, do you want to go next? Or do you want
Yeah,
me to
sure.
Yeah.
You might have the same one. A team I'm real high on, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I just didn't see them fucking choking that hard. They did not play well offensively. I think Mike Shula might have flown from South Carolina to go wherever that game was and called plays for them as well. Just awful. I was actually watching with a lot of Texas Tech fans too. They were pissed. Just a tough bet.
Yeah,
I was about to say South Carolina, but I think we have had enough pain.
That one wasn't sweaty. It's like, I mean, that was one of my worst losses. Like, Texas Tech was in the game. Like, they could have come back. Like, they tied that game up, go to overtime. I was doing the gambler's math. Like, it was there.
Yeah.
It was there.
Yeah. I had 2. This was one of mine, mainly because it blew the Nobody Asked parlay for college football. Last week we gave out 1 winner of our 7 parlay picks. This week we had 1 loser in the parlay picks, and that was mine, so we could have double cashed. That sucked. My other one, though, I was a Mississippi State money line better this weekend, and that should have hit. I just don't. That throw was crazy. You're in field goal range. Obviously, I do think you should keep trying to get yards, but yeah, that was brutal, especially because I just also don't want Florida to do well. But yeah, that was a brutal way to lose.
I was on that too. Luckily, I evened out the odds based off how my day was going, and it evened up. So I basically washed that game. I had spread and money line, but the money line would have been nice too.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I forgot to mention on worst losses: Texas is dead, and Arch Manning sucks, and I'm never going back.
Have y'all seen that RG3 quote or tweet that's been going around? It's like on Old Takes Exposed. He's basically, when the Daniel Jones starting news got announced, he said, "Man, I swear the Colts are just trying to tank, or the Colts are intentionally tanking for Arch right in front of our eyes." And now Daniel Jones is on the best team in the NFL.
I'm not surprised if it's coming from RG3.
Jeez.
Daniel Jones is on the best team in the NFL, record-wise at least.
Well, hey, boys, we went 1-2 on our parlays. Everyone welcome. We're back in the winning train for the NFL. Look to get that continued this week.
Plus 363.
And tomorrow we will be giving out you our first ever college football winning parlay. We really are in a hole there. But we'll figure that out. We're going to, sleep all night. Also, potentially our first live show tomorrow. We'll dive into that. But, Boone, before we let the people go, can you update everyone on our records?
Yes, so college football, my favorite bet was Cal team total over 28.5. They had 21 in the third quarter and could not complete, so lost there. Texas Tech -7, lost there. Bad week for Washington money line, lost there as well. Bad week. You had Oregon -17. Mississippi State money line, got 1 point there. Chuck had Georgia Tech money line, Penn State money line, got 1 as well. So Chuck and Ev got 1 from college. You were close on Penn State. Chuck, your favorite in NFL was Panthers. Your dog was Giants. My favorite was Patriots -6.5. Jags was my dog. And Ev, you were Rams -2.5 and Saints money line. So we all 3 got a point there. Brings the total to Ev with 6 points. Me and Chuck tied with 7 points.
Are you telling me I lost both dogs by a point?
Yes, I am.
That's brutal.
So yeah, great show. Ran a little long. Apologies, a lot to get into, especially with heist talk and all that. But we'll be back with y'all, I guess, tomorrow as we're recording this. So, thanks.
Great show. Good stuff, guys. Adios.
Peace.